Joining me today is former New Hampshire State Senator Jim Rubens, who's also run for the U.S. Senate. Jim, so we talked about these sort of 5 issues.
Yeah.
And debt was the one that you wanted to look at first. And I got to tell you, personally, I couldn't have said which was the first because I agree they are so interconnected. But the federal debt that we have. Right. How should we as a society think about it? I mean, some people have said the number isn't important. What's important is debt as the percentage of the economy.
Yeah.
So how do we even start understanding the dynamic of the issue that we're facing?
We first got to, these are all long-term problems. These are things that you can wait another month, even another year or 2, or 5 before you deal with it. For example, with debt.
Which also makes it complicated, because if you can kick it 5 years,
right,
and 5 years, then you can get another 5 years.
Exactly. And if you face an election and you face a choice between saying nice things to people, I'm going to give you A, B, and C, and D, people are happier about being given stuff than being told that we're spending too much and we've got to not give so much stuff.
So the policies of somebody who loses the election make the other person potentially look good.
So this is easy for me to talk about, but I talked about it during elections, which is why I lost. But nonetheless, we've got to talk about this stuff, and we don't want to get to the point of crisis. 2 major crises incipient with respect to debt. Number one, if interest rates go back to normal, we're crushed. Right now, interest rates are suppressed. Some people say we have the lowest long-term interest rates in human history.
And interest rates right now, the Fed is increasing interest rates.
Interest rates are coming up now. But
and they're signaling they will increase interest rates. So we will see at least a modest rise. I think most analysts predict we'll see a modest rise.
But if they return to normal, if interest rates on the 10-year T-bond return to normal,
what's normal?
4 or 5% is considered normal, instead of 2.5, maybe they'll push it to 3. If it returns to normal, the debt service on the $20 trillion in federal debt will swamp the ability of our government to do anything. We won't be able to defend ourselves. We won't be able to build roads. We'll have failures in Social Security and Medicare, both of which are underwater right now to the tune of, little mockery, 2% of GDP is being spent on subsidizing Social Security and Medicare right now. There's not enough tax revenue. And our military leaders have told us this debt is one of the 5 greatest threats to U.S. national security. The debt impedes the ability of our nation to defend ourselves effectively. So these are serious problems. And we're facing a debate next month, and I'm not seeing Republicans or Democrats facing the immensity of the challenge. It's going to be kick the can down the road again to the tune of leaving us in the hole $600 billion, $2 trillion a year over the next 10 years is what we're looking at. These are very, very difficult numbers. These require very substantial changes in what we do in Washington.
So let me get another question around debt.
Yeah.
Is all debt bad? I mean, if the federal government bonds roads or bridges, is that the same thing as bonding a payment?
Great question. There are 2 kinds of debt. One is debt that pays itself off. Like if you invest in a piece of capital equipment that saves you money, it actually pays for itself. So debt is really good. It allows you to save money quicker if you can borrow money to save money quicker than generating savings to buy that thing. So a new bridge that allows more traffic to get between cities and allows better, more efficient commerce, great thing. But we've shifted our use of spending in Washington from capital investment, things like bridges and infrastructure and airports and tunnels and research and development. We've shifted the spending in Washington away from that stuff and toward current consumption. It's like shifting your family finances away from investing in something, education for your sons and daughters, and you've shifted the money.
Putting a new boiler in that's more efficient.
Or putting a new boiler, a new roof in, and we've shifted it toward buying groceries and buying movie theater tickets. That's what we've done at the national level. So we're eating our seed corn, and we see under the Trump administration, I'm a supporter of Donald Trump, was during the campaign, but I'm very disturbed by the proposal that we cut U.S. national investment in research. This is our seed corn. This is where future prosperity comes from.
So I'm going to have to.
So we need to cut. You have to cut.
I need to cut.
Yeah.
But when we return, we're going to continue our conversation. We're going to transition to healthcare issues. So please stay with us.